dogs. I should have got cats. Then we could call Mama the crazy old cat lady. Oh! Hey guys, how's it going? So, guess who was here today? Turn your frown upside down. Amazon, and I dropped off my new drum wrap. This is a 3M product. It's a vinyl car wrap, actually. It's made by a company called Vvivid, V-V-I-V-I-D, or something like that. Got it off Amazon for $11. They have a number of different sizes. This one was 1 by 4 foot. And this should be more than enough to do the snare drum. I think the circumference of a 14-inch snare drum is like 43 something inches, so I got some leeway there. Plus being a foot, and I only need 8 inches of it, should be more than enough. It is a beautiful freaking blue. Holy wow, look at this. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Makes you feel kind of randy, doesn't it? Yeah. Whoa. That's beautiful. Now this stuff's intended to go on. You peel the, you take it off the paper backing. There's the white paper backing in there, and it's a very, very thin vinyl. It's stretchy. That's what I'm kind of worried about. I really don't want to take it off the paper, so I might actually just mount it as is. That way, if there's any imperfections in the shell, it's not going to show through the thin vinyl. On the video I watched of it, after he took it off, well, he actually put it on the car, which was flipping beautiful. He then worked it. Ranger, stop. He then pulled it off, wrinkled it up in his hand, and pulled it back out, used a hairdryer to it, and it flattened it out again. It was pretty cool. I'm not going to do that, no. But once I get this cut to fit, I want the seam right underneath the lugs, because the 2005 snare does have those long lugs, the high tension aerodynamic type lugs. It'll cover up the majority of it, and hopefully I can get that just right. There is a protective film over the top here. You can see kind of little bubblies. And you know when you get a brand new phone and you peel that protective coating off it? Oh yeah. This is a whole huge snare drum of that. Yeah. Girls, for 20 bucks, I'll let you peel it off. Yeah, that'll be kind of cool. But which is nice, because I can do all the cutting and whatnot and knock all the holes in it before I peel all that up. So I just make sure that the shell won't, or the wrap actually won't get any damage to it. But due to the real thinness of that vinyl, I'm really considering keeping the paper on. I don't think I want to try it without the paper. It just, because it's made to go on a smooth finish. It's made to adhere. What's the word? How does it adhere and stuff like that to car finishes? I really don't know. I'm just got out of work. I'm tired and I'm pissy. But the shell isn't exactly nice and beautifully smooth like a car hood is, so I think I'll just leave it on the paper. It'll make it a lot smoother, because another reason is if I did take it off the paper, it might show any imperfections in the shell. Not that I'm really worried about it. No, I'm not. But so this is my product. Isn't she beautiful? And again, this is enough to do just about any snare, and it's a foot tall. It's a foot tall by 4 feet in length for $11. It comes in a number of different colors, quite a bit of different colors. It comes in high gloss finish like this one. It comes in some satin finishes. The stealth gray was kind of cool, and I toyed with that for a minute. It's the same with one of the black, but I opted to go with the blue because the wife likes the blue. Happy wife, happy life. As long as she ain't riding my ass. Yay. Taking apart drums. Yay. Okay, I cut the wrap, got it cut to size. It's an 8-inch snare, so I made the wrap 7.5 inches wide. That way it'll give a quarter each, or a quarter inch on either end for the bearing edge and whatnot. But I took on the excess that was left over, I took the paper backing off it, and this is what you're left with. It has about the same thickness and feel as real glossy duct tape, and that's the finish without the plastic covering on it. Now this is supposed to be, once you apply it to like an automobile, once you get smooth all the wrinkles out and whatnot, you're supposed to take like a hair dryer to it, and that it kind of stretches, and I guess it conforms a little bit. I have my doubts how this is going to work on a snare shell. Cars are nice and glossy and super smooth. Snare shells not so much sometimes. So this is just a test piece with this one, just to see how it works. You see that? She's pretty. And it adheres pretty good, actually. It's not super smooth, but then again, the shell isn't either. And I expected that, so, which kind of leads me to keep the paper on, actually. Yeah, I think I probably should be the smartest thing, but it does come right off. It's a really neat project though, or a product I should say. I really wish it wasn't so thin. It's only like, I'm not exactly sure the thickness of it. Is it 0.03 or 0.03, I think it is. God, if it was twice as thick, I think it'd be all right to do it on just a bare shell. But now there's a couple spots here where the hoops had, or not the hoops, but the lugs had, pressed into the wood a little bit. And way it highlights them quite a bit. Yeah, even like little dust particles or any little bumps, it's showing a lot bigger mark. So I think it'd be best not to do it this way. Just because I can't be certain of getting it perfectly smooth. Onward. You know I was going to show this to you. Oh, man, that's orgasmic. Ooh, I don't know what it is, why it's so satisfying to do that, but it just is. But I have to take it off now, because once I get it secured, the end of it secured on the snare drum itself, I won't have any way to get it out from underneath it on the one spot. So I just thought it best to take it off now. But look at that finish. That's gonna be gorgeous. Oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. So I wrapped it around the entirety of the snare shell, and I have about 1 inch of overlap, and about 1.5 inches of overlap, no biggie. I put it on best as I could, and then smoothed it around until I got it tight as I could, and then put a piece of tape over it to hold it in place. Now it's just sliding it back and forth and trying to get it lined up on a lug, and there it is right there. That's the lug for it, and it is right just about at that seam. And I opted again to keep the paper on it because the wrap itself is just too thin to try to mess with, so I didn't even want to make an attempt on it. But now all I have to do, I have to secure the wrap on there as best as I can, just using scotch tape just around the edge, just to hold it, keep it from moving, and then I'll start puncturing the holes in it And I'm going to start with the one right here at the wrap is first, or the ends. And that cut does look pretty bad on here, but it's actually kind of a nice, it's not a bad cut. But I'm going to start with this lug first to hold everything, and then I'll probably go over on this side and do that next one, so that'll hold everything in place and until I can start getting the hardware all cinched out. And I taped all the way around just to hold the shell and the wrap in place. Now I'm kind of high towards the top of the bearing edge. I'm not too worried about it being up too high, because most Premier shells on their better grade drums like these, most Premier shells were made just a little bit thinner, just so that head could move back and forth a little more easier, so you get it better adjusted. So I have a little bit of leeway here, and when I get one of the heads on, it'll be just perfect. Excuse the mess on the table, but made a mistake. I said I was going to use Scotch tape to hold it. Scotch tape is a very, very bad mistake. I taped the overlapping part of the wrap to itself. Getting the Scotch tape off, it left quite a bit of residue. I didn't try to clean it off at this time. So what I ended up using is painter's tape to hold, as you can see, around the shell, because it leaves no residue. Scotch tape is a no-no, so remember that. But all I'm going to do now, I got 2 lugs on, and I'm going around the shell, finding the hole and indenting it with my finger, and using my Gerber multiplier, the sharp knife on the end of it. I poke it in a cross pattern. So that way, when the lug goes into it, it's not going to pull it any specific way if it's not cut all the way through. There it goes. And it goes in perfect. So scary. Oh my gosh. And because, not that I was rushing, I just really wasn't paying attention in a couple of spots. And when I cut it, for some reason I had a tendency to, you know, cut, and then tap on the shell or just hold it on the shell. And I'm like, I just made a mark on the wrap. So that's not a good thing. But if you want perfection, go to Drumeo or Sounds Like a Drum or Vvivid. I didn't like the wrap he used, all that tie-dye looking. I'm not a thing. I'm not into hippies. All right, another shell on. Look at that. Isn't that flipping, turning out beautiful? Knock on wood, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Click. Okay, just wrapping things up here a little bit. I'm a little disappointed. My wife was supposed to help me with this project, but she chose to watch Magic Mike instead. Now, I don't know what the big hoopla with her and Magic Mike is. I've seen the show before, and I was pretty disappointed I didn't see one magic trick in the whole freaking thing. Kind of wanted to get my money back for false advertisement, but I don't know. I don't know why she likes it. I don't know why anyone would, but look at that, huh? Now, it's not perfect. One thing I've noticed with these type of lugs, because they only have the one screw holding in the center, you have to hold those things up, you know, you have to hold them vertically, perfectly straight when you tighten it. If not, it's going to cant a little bit and it might affect the shell. A couple times it did that on me, but I caught it in time. Right here, uh-oh, what the hell is that? Getting some bubbling right there. So what I gotta do, I gotta take this off, take the hoop off, realign the head. I think the head, yep, the head's pushing down on the wrap at the very top, so I gotta fix that real quick. All right, now, don't mind this right here. That's that Scotch tape residue. I still gotta take it off with my citrus cleaner downstairs. But the wrap is on, the hoops are on. Now, I did run into another snag. When I was putting the heads on, I did not have, I had the wrap up too high, and what it ended up doing when I put the head on, it ended up pushing the wrap down, and I got a line of bubbles, or not bubbles, but wrinkles, because it pushed the wrap in, and it looked really bad around the lugs and whatnot. So what I had to do, I used a coaster for height, put a razor blade on the coaster, just like that, so it was raised up about a little more than a quarter inch. Put the snare with the bearing edge down and held this tight and rotated the snare around it, or I should say this way, against the blade, and it cut a finer, better line along the top. And now I got it on there, and no more wrinkles or bubbles along the top. Is that just not a gorgeous freaking blue? Oh my God, it is just stunning. Now, would I recommend this product? It's too early to tell. I still gotta clean, like I said, I gotta clean that off. I don't know how this is going to take to sitting downstairs for weeks and months at a time in the configuration that it is on the backing paper. So we will have to wait a little while to see how it's hanging in there. The hoops aren't tightened down yet because my wife ordered me a new set of Pure Sound snare wires, so I'm waiting for those to come in. I think that's tomorrow. Once they're in, and I'll put it together and I'll tighten the hoops down, and hopefully I won't have to cut any more off. Oh, there's some of it I cut off before. Hopefully I won't have to cut any more of the wrap off, but that was my fault. I had not enough of the wrap trimmed away on the bottom, and it ended up pushing it, but so far so good. It looks just absolutely beautiful. Boy, that's good. Hey guys, project is done. Got home from work yesterday and I was rewarded by a set of Pure Sound Pro series wires. I put those in the Amazon cart in the save for later area, hoping my wife would take the bait. My wife had to order some unmentionables, her bras, and while she was getting those, she just happened to put my wires in the cart, which was great. And I actually chose the wrong ones. I bought the 24 strand Pure Sound Pro. I meant just to get a set of blasters, but she got the pros. Big old 24 strand, all brass. These are nice wires. They got the nice straps that say Pure Sound on them. But here's the snare, all done. My God, she is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Didn't turn out perfect. There's a couple of spots that the wrap is really, unless you have one wrap that's got adhesive on the back. Well, this one does, but it's still on the paper. It's really hard to make sure there's absolutely no wrinkles. It's not perfect, but I can live with it. But she just turned out so nice. Goodness gracious, look at that blue. Yeah, my two biggest problems are right here around the throw off and right in that panel, but the rest of them are turned out perfect. Had I spent a little bit more time on it, I probably could have got it better. And I had actually went out and bought some two-sided tape to go around the top of the shell and to go around the middle. You know, if I didn't rush through it and I actually used that two-sided tape, it probably would have came out perfect. However, well, lesson learned. But it was an easy project. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to rewrap. Over the course of a year and a half I've been doing these videos, I've done a lot of stuff to drums, painted them, stained them, and just now I've wrapped them. So I'm growing as a player, not only in my playing, but in crafting drums. And I don't know, playing the drums is fun, but it can't contain me. I've got to do more than just play and just learn how to play. So I like to tinker with things as well, as you know. But this was a fun project. It was an easy project. A little stressful at first just because I didn't know what I was getting into. But all in all, I think it turned out beautiful. And my Premier 2005 resonator snare is blue and she's ready to rock. Unfortunately, I've got the grandkid right up here, I think. The TV's still on. Yeah. Usually I get up early when she comes over and stays the night. I get up real early and she doesn't get up till like 10 o'clock in the morning, same with the wife. But the dog woke the wife up. She's ticked off already. And the kid's watching TV, but she's trying to go back to sleep, so I can't. I was gonna open up with a Santana song featuring Chad Kroger, but I don't wanna set the tone with tick her off making all sorts of racket down here. But I am so happy with this. Now she can take her spot where she belongs. Until the next project. Anyways, everyone, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope everything's going good for all of you. And I'm Todd, the Cheap Drums Guy. Just be good to each other, okay? We only have a short time on this planet.